Hey guys, it's Diviner from merch.com. The behind the scenes for February was posted today, so here's a quick merchant review of it. If you have any questions for me about this month, then feel free to post them in the comments below. Just keep in mind that this video isn't direct investment advice and I won't be telling you what to buy or sell either, that is your decision. As usual, there will be additional information and advice in the VIP advice section at the top of our forums, so if you're a merch VIP, then have a look at that. I think I speak for many of us when I say there were few surprises in this month's BTS. The two surprises are both in the first part here, the demon flash mobs dropping supplies for new pouches, as well as tradable titles. The pouches are a good addition in my opinion and will hopefully be useful in combat, kind of like the Nihils and not really like a pretty much useless Rune Minotaur. And I hope they will be somewhat rare too, so they can actually have some good value, again like the Nihils, and not worthless like a Rune Minotaur. As for the titles, I never really understood the big deal about them personally. It'll be interesting to see how tradable titles work out, but that mostly depends on how much people care in the end. There's going to be some kind of demand for the titles, but I think it's going to be fulfilled pretty soon, so I'm not really sure how this is going to work out. We'll just have to see, I guess. Then we know about the Wildy Worm coming up for several months now. I've gotten a lot of questions on whether people should stock up on whips, dark bows, or staves of light. And as you know, I do not tell people what to buy or sell, I teach methods and I give insights. And an insight I can give you here is that people have, like I said, known about this update for months now, which you can also tell from their graphs. People have been stocking up, dumping on each other, so it's already quite messy. And then on top of that, there are certain YouTubers that have been pushing their viewers to buy them, like kind of heavily advertising this update, causing a false sense of demand and popularity, which in reality just isn't really there. Then in my opinion, it will be more interesting to look into cheap mid-level gear and supplies, as there is plenty of profit to be made there, as that's the kind of stuff people will be taking to the wilderness to be among the first to get these new items. But that's just my opinion. On another note, I do think it's really great to see that Jagex is finally starting to look into item sinks after such a long time. I hope they can turn it into a larger project and apply it in more places, so a lot of the items that are currently pretty much worthless can get a better value and be more interesting for everyone in the game, including merchants, of course. Then the quest has nothing to do with merchanting really, but I hope you guys enjoy it if you plan to do it. Then the bonus XP weekend, we knew about that one already, of course. I made a guide about it for the last bonus XP weekend, which you can view through the link here or in the description. Everything in the guide still applies, though I've had a lot of questions as to why items are not rising too much when they did a lot better during past bonus XP weekends. So basically, what makes this weekend different from the other ones? And there are a few reasons for this, the main one being that they should have put the last weekend 2 months earlier, because this one is simply too soon after the previous one for people, which means there is less interest. But Jagex simply wanted to do this bonus XP weekend now because of the participation in Game Blast. Then secondly, the announcement was over 5 weeks in advance again, which massively decreases the impact the bonus XP weekend could have had if it had been announced, let's say, 3 weeks in advance. People would rather just wait for items to fall back down now so they can stock them cheap, rather than buying in at a higher price point. They're really just expecting the price to fall back down, which is why it's kind of hovering at a higher price point, sort of stable right now for most items. Because you have the one part of people that don't really want to sell and want to hold on, and then you have the other part of people that don't really want to buy in yet and are waiting for it to crash. Then thirdly, a lot of people anticipated this bonus XP weekend because Jagex announced months ago that they would be participating in Game Blast again, meaning another bonus XP weekend was most likely coming too, because what else would they have done? So yeah, that's it for this month. As for the updates, because the stuff below this is already pretty much irrelevant for merchanting, it feels like these videos are getting shorter and shorter, but perhaps you don't mind. So as for merch, you'll notice that in January there were no new updates to the website. If you paid attention during the video though, you'll likely notice something different about the merch banner, a slider to old school. And with the Grand Exchange being released on Old School soon, we wanted to add merch logs for those too, as well as adding the items to our database if Jagex releases a Grand Exchange database for Old School as well. Flipping the switch would simply allow you to see RuneScape 3 or Old School RuneScape versions of the site, where things would only change for the parts where they should be separated. People obviously want to have Old School merch logs, but they wouldn't want to have them switched up with all of their RuneScape 3 stuff, as that would just get very messy, and if you want to look at someone's Old School log, it would be a bit of a pain to constantly have to figure out what is RuneScape 3 and what is old school. So this little switch here should sort out those problems, and it will be going live, as it's currently only visible for admins. It'll be going live as soon as the Grand Exchange is released. So we're really looking forward to that one. We've also been working on other updates too, but I'll have to wait for some results before I can talk about those. As for the merch logs, we logged about 10 bill profit this month. With the bonus XP weekend coming up in a few weeks, we should be breaching the 200 bill profit mark, as well as 30k uploads, which are two amazing milestones by our awesome community. The 10 bill this month is also really great. It's really nice to see the logs continue to grow at such a steady pace. I really look forward to these milestones and to all of your uploads this month, so keep them coming. I do feel like it's going to be a really good month. Feel free to stop by in our chat box on the website to have a chat. Yeah, that's it. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you all again next week for another video.